I am excited to have a former student, a JAG-K alumnus with us today. We have a lot of students, current students, who talk about JAG-K and how it's impacting their lives currently. It's excellent to have Linda Moyo with us today to talk about the impact JAG-K had on her life as a student when she was in it, but now that she is out of high school and onto other endeavors, how it continues to have an impact on her life. So I'm pleased to welcome to the show today, Linda Moyo, a graduate of Newton High School. Hello, Linda.
Hi, Chuck. How are you today?
I am well. And unlike the last time I saw you in person, you were fully aware that we were going to talk and you were going to talk today. Because
Yes,
last
for
time I
sure.
believe was at a state student event, and I just asked you if you would come up on stage and say a few words. So you had a little bit of
Yeah.
notice today.
Yeah, I'm prepared today, so that's good.
I'm sure. And you were prepared that day too. You just didn't know you were going to be called to speak, but I think you're always prepared. And anyway, I know about your story, but a
Mhm.
lot of our current students don't. And so I just kind of want to unpack all of that, how you got into JAG-K, and then kind of your story from there. And then we'll kind of pick up some of the details along the way. So what got you into JAG-K?
So I got into JAG-K on an accident. I had a friend who was taking the class and she was like, take this class. I was like, no, I want to take Spanish. So I'm in the first day of Spanish class, the teacher's going over the syllabus, and I'm like, I don't think I'm supposed to be here. And on that day, the day before, I had just gotten all my wisdom teeth taken out. So I was already in pain. So I was like, you know what? Can I go to the nurse? And so I went to the office, but instead of going to the nurse's office, I went to ask to switch my class to take JAG. And so the next day, I went into JAG, and that's when I feel like my life changed and almost started, or my high school life, because that first day I was introduced to the kind of things that JAG was about, what we're going to be learning, the growth just outside of the educational aspect, like y equals mx plus b, but how to do a resume, how to send an email, how to get a job that you like, keep it, and have a good life. So I was excited to be a part of that journey. And at the beginning, I was very shy and scared to participate. But after a few weeks and a few months, with the help of my then specialist, Tavis Leak, I got out of my shell and I ran to be the vice president. I got involved in the leadership, not only within JAG, but outside of JAG. So it opened, a whole new world to me of being a community leader and participating in community events and, helping out the students within JAG, and even more than that, so that we all could grow and become the best versions of ourselves throughout school.
And I guess backing up just a little bit, what did your friend think? Why did your friend recommend JAG? So how did you get to Newton High School? What was kind of your story before even getting to high school? Tell us the Linda Moyo birth to high school story in about 2 minutes.
Yeah. So I am originally from Zimbabwe, and I moved to the States around the age of 8. And then starting 5th grade, that's when I was in the Newton area. And before, taking classes from 5th grade all the way to around 10th grade, I was always lost because of cultural differences, language barriers, and just networking, not knowing people either who were like me or just knew the things about how the US functions, or how specifically my community and my town functioned. And so I was, lost. I was like, what am I going to do in life? Who can I even talk to about what I can do in life? And so getting this introduction to JAG through a friend, they're like, yeah, we talk about careers and knowing yourself. And so I was like, oh, maybe that's a class that I definitely need to take, because I was in a stage where I was seeking, I was praying and saying, I hope there's a class out there that, taught me these things, could guide me through life so that I can become successful and prepared for everything outside of just graduating from high school.
So you started to come out of your shell a little bit, gain confidence, ran for career association office, you were elected, and then you took another really big step outside of your local career association. Tell us about that process, why you thought you wanted to, pursue a state office. What all happened there?
Yeah, so when I started, getting out of my shell, I was still, kind of halfway in, but my specialist played a huge role in, helping me with my confidence and helping me to share my JAG story, and just, doing things that are uncomfortable to me, which is why I decided to run for the State Career Association role. And that in itself was just an experience that I will never forget. And through that, so many opportunities came along, speaking in front of individuals who then, when they hear stories of JAG students, they support JAG and they tell more people about JAG, which is why me and the 75,000 plus students back then could have the amazing JAG specialists that they had, and also get the materials, and also learn the way that we were able to.
So going back, and I don't remember the specifics, but you set yourself apart because of your presentation during the election. You want to tell us a little bit about that and why you chose to do it that way?
Yeah, so I believe this was for the LDC right before the
At that time,
official. Yeah. I wanted to do a rap, and I had messaged my specialist and I was like, yeah, I want to do a rap. And he was like, Linda, is this you? Are you sure? I'm like, yeah, I think I need to get out of my shell and do a rap. And so I got started. I was messing with a few things, and Cardi B was popular at the time. She was starting to become popular. So I used one of her beats and I wrote about the impact of JAG through that. And is it okay if I actually do the rap? I think I still remember it.
Of course.
Okay, so it said, JAG-K, I can represent if you want me to. I'm a leader, do it well. Promise you'll be comfortable, caring, honest, passionate, and I follow all the rules. Let's make this year the best. All it takes a vote from you. When you put your hand on that pen, vote for me for president. Hey, oh, hey. So yeah, that was the thing that set me apart from everybody else.
It was a big hit, and obviously it worked along with everything else you brought to the position. But that will definitely go down in the history of JAG-K as one of the most unique presentations. I'm amazed that you remembered it. You must do it like every other week or something.
I actually do. It's kind of embarrassing how much JAG is always in my head, and I always replay all these amazing moments that have made me to be who I am today. So yes, I do. It's a confession I have to make. I can't hide that one.
So what are some of the other impacts JAG-K had on your life, or some of the opportunities? Because I know one for sure, was the NSLA, but what are some other things? I mean, I'd love for you to talk about NSLA and maybe some of the things that happened there, and but anything else that you remember that had an impact on where you are now and what you're doing and your future plans.
Yeah, of course. So I think the biggest thing I got from that conference, I I remember I didn't have anything to compete in, but I was just there automatically. However, just the different seminars and leadership conferences within that I attended really helped me to kind of uh, think about who I want to be in this world, what I want to do, my mission. And so, along with that, that's when I started to get the idea of wanting to have a talk show where I could just sit down and ask different individuals from various life experiences to share with me, who they are, how they got to where they are, and all sorts of things. And also gain the knowledge that JAG helped me gain through various lessons, especially guest speakers were impactful to me the most in the classroom. And also when we did go to these conferences. And so after I graduated high school, I went to Bethel College, which is also in Newton, Kansas, and I majored in psychology and also with a minor in communications and human services. And I still had this idea of, I want to be a talk show host. I want to be the next Oprah. And I always had the feeling that I was somehow always going to be attached to JAG because for 1 year after high school, I did an internship in a JAG classroom where I helped to set up the class interactions that we're going to be doing that day. And so from that to guest speaking for various things within the JAG community in Newton to there was a time when I wrote in a journal, and this must have been around a year ago. I wrote, I want to contact JAG, not JAG Kansas, but I want to contact JAG National and see if I can become part of their team, whether that's an internship or I work for them, so that I could expose and share and amplify JAG students' voices. My JAG story is not the only story out there. And so that was something I wanted to do that was very impactful for me. And Bev, around August, so almost over a 6 month period after I wrote that vision or I wrote that idea, JAG contacted me and said, hey, there's an internship opportunity with JAG National, check it out. And so I took that, I sent in my resume and we went through the interview processes and I got rejected. And I looked at that, email and I was like, oh no, so I shut my phone and I just reflected and I was sad. But then I looked at that email again. And what I missed was the second paragraph where they said, you did not get the position. However, we are wanting to create a position for you, a student engagement intern position, where you will be amplifying the students' voices through social media. JAG is serving over 76,000 students every single year. And each and every one of them has a unique and powerful story that needs to be heard. And so my role with my new internship is to do just that, to amplify the students' voices, to make sure I bring guests and almost have that talk show feel and ask the guests about their life experiences that could then help the JAG students with their life as they, curve it and plan it out for themselves too.
In this new role, how do you, and I've seen links, I think on Genius, but how do you get in touch with the students, or how do they get in touch with you if they have a story to share? How does that all work?
Yeah, so I will be working with Jag Genius and also HeadRush to figure out challenges and also make sure that we try and get them over to our Instagram and Facebook page so that we can mainly engage there. And the place where they're mostly going to have an opportunity to share about their JAG story is through a podcast that will be launching soon. The podcast is called Start Here and Go Everywhere. And we're hoping to launch that podcast on February 22nd, 2022. So 22222. And within that podcast, we're going to be having specialists, JAG alumni, the current JAG students, and any other guests come on, tell their story, and see how, from their life experiences and the wisdom that they've got, everybody else, specifically the JAG students, can benefit from those stories.
And I thought I saw either a Facebook page or what other social media is there right now? Or maybe I'm just dreaming this, but.
Yeah, so right now we currently have an Instagram page called JAG Students and also a Facebook page called JAG Students. And then soon, like I said, we'll be doing the podcast, which will be available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and also on YouTube as another platform. And we're hoping to also start a TikTok where we'll be doing challenges with students where they can do their own posts on there, and also add some of these interviews with students, alumni, specialists, and other guests on there as well.
Great. I'm always into the positive TikTok challenges.
Yeah.
But speaking of podcasts, you actually have a personal podcast. It's a podcast. I forget the name. I'm sorry, Linda, but that's been going on for a little while. Tell us about that and how that started. You talked about you wanted to have your own talk show. So tell us a little bit about your podcast, how we can listen to that and get some insights and some of the, I think, inspirational wisdom you share with folks.
Yeah, for sure. So around 2018, when I graduated, I kept saying, I want to become the next Oprah, et cetera, et cetera. But I really wasn't taking action and doing that. And about a year or two passed, and I was like, you know what? I need to start. I got out of my comfort zone and I started a YouTube channel called Linda Insights. And in my life, I just have these random little motivational, inspirational, and almost transformational, these aha moments that I learn from other people or I just think. And so I wanted to create that channel to share with other individuals these aha moments, these inspirational, motivational, and transformational things that were happening in my life.
We're going to start our local career development conferences next month, and then we'll elect career association officers for the next year at our CDC. So we do it a little bit differently than we did when you were our president. Mm-hmm. But I'd like, and we've changed the events, as you know. So when you went to the National Student Leadership Academy, there were 16 to 18 students. We're only taking, and this is by JAG design, we only take our state career association officers in December now, but there is a national career development conference in the spring. And so this spring we will be taking, it's over 20 students to Dallas, Texas for the National Career Development Conference. New events. So we only had 4 events when you were here. Now there will be 10 events.
Wow.
So it's a big deal. The competition is cool. The workshops are neat. If you could talk about a little bit more in detail about your NSLA experience in Washington and why I think you would encourage students to try for career association state offices. but then also the value of meeting other people from other
Mm,
states and those types of things.
yeah. So if you get the opportunity to go to these conferences, and if you take it seriously, I think that it can be so impactful on an individual, because there you're exposed to JAG students from all over the place, in 40 plus states. And so you get to hear their story as a JAG student. You get to see some of the specialists from the other states, and the kind of competitions that you're introduced to and that you have to participate in. Those are going to be beneficial. I think that, you know, those kind of things, they're the things that when you graduate from high school, whether you decide to go to college, a trade school, or just go straight into the workforce, those skills that we were practicing then, those are the daily skills that we use in the workforce or college. And so you're just getting a first class, snippet of what your life could be like through getting to be involved with these kind of challenges. And I remember when I went, all the students were adding each other on Snapchat. And so if I open my Snapchat right now, I can still see, a JUG student from Kentucky, and I can just say, oh, they're here, they're doing this. Oh, good for them. So you kind of like have this JAG community, something bigger than yourself that you're a part of, which is extremely impactful. And I think in DC, I remember, going to the different museums and talking to different people in different careers. And, that opened up a whole new world of possibilities. You start out with your own little idea of what the world is, but being exposed to something way bigger than you have ever imagined just helped me out as I decided what I wanted to be in life. And I think that any student who gets the opportunity to do events like this, they need to take it seriously and just go in with an open heart to learn and to engage with other students and all the other people who are present to those events. Because if you do so, it can truly have a great impact on your life.
Those are great words to live by. In our final couple of minutes here, are there any other pieces of advice that you would give our students, either as they're continuing through their JAG-K journey, or if they're seniors getting ready to get out into the post-secondary world, that you would share, or maybe some of the insights that you've shared on your podcast?
Something that's coming to me right now is, get out of your comfort zone. I know this is mostly, my story, but doing that has truly gotten me to where I'm at now. And getting out of your comfort zone can look different for each individual. If just ask a question about something that you're interested in, you can go to that job place that you want and say, hey, I'm looking to do this job. Do you have an opening? And ask to talk to the boss and get to know their life story and say, hey, this is what I can do. These are the skills I can bring to your company. What can we do? Get out of your comfort zone with school. If you're wanting to go to college, make sure you create the skills and act on the skills that will make you different, that will make you stand out, whether that's a sport that you're passionate about or a club that you're passionate about. So get out of your comfort zone and engage with the world, because if you do that, you can do anything.
Well, if there was an all-time all-star team for JAG-K Career Association officers, Linda Moyo would certainly be on the team. Maybe we'll have a JAG-K Hall of Fame someday, and I think you're probably a first ballot selection, but certainly appreciate the time today. And hopefully we will see you at some future JAG-K student events. We know you're part of the JAG-K national family, and we're looking forward to
Yes.
the podcast on 2/22/22.
Yes.
And hopefully we will have you back, several more times, and you can continue to share your wisdom.
Well, thank you, Chuck, for having me. I really appreciate it. And being part of the JAG family, it's been the greatest gift. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.